There's an infamous theory within the Bluey fandom that has unfortunately seen an increase in popularity recently that claims that Bingo is actually Brandy's daughter, because of what Brandy says to Bingo when she first sees her.
You look just like you.
I'm going to try my best to remain respectful for the topic, but this is a fan theory within Bluey that I and many others find to be quite literally insane. This idea comes from the episode Onesies, an episode that explores the sensitive topic of infertility through Chilli's sister Brandy in a really beautiful way and serves to show the myriad of emotions many experience in real life when suffering from this.
Why can't she just have the thing she wants?
Because it's not meant to be.
Because of this, it's an episode that genuinely means a lot to the crowds of people experiencing this or those who have someone in their life with these conditions. There's so much that goes into this episode that makes it resonate with others that I even have an entire video discussing it. But this theory stems from an interpretation of the episode that ignores the purpose of the episode and instead turns it into something akin to a soap opera scandal.
Oh, that's odd.
The theory goes that Bingo was originally born by Brandy and eventually made her way into Chilli's care.
Hello.
Either by adoption or Chilli stole her from Brandy.
What?
Which right away sounds, to put it lightly, far-fetched. So I attempted to track the source of the theory to see if I could find a more in-depth explanation, but when reading evidence for the theory from discussions online supporting it to better understand the thought process behind it all, I was honestly left with a headache. However, I'm still going to explain it all for you buddies, right? But most importantly, explain how it contradicts what we know in the show. But before we get into the cheetahs and balloons of the video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. You have no idea how much it helps me out to get these videos out to more fans like you. And let's discuss why Bingo is not Brandy's child. I think it might be best to start with the main supporting evidence that others bring up when talking about this theory, and maybe briefly clear up the possible misinterpretation, which is that scene I mentioned earlier of Brandy saying,
You look just like you.
Since we know the episode is about infertility, majority of fans believe the reason why Brandy seems so shocked is because she's essentially getting a glimpse into what her own child could have looked like.
There's something Auntie Brandy wants more than anything as well.
Since Bingo and Brandy look very similar with identical markings and even identical slanted snouts. Because of genetics, it's not uncommon to see children look like their aunts or uncles, so that's a quick and easy answer to why they look so similar. However, for this theory, they don't quite see it this way. Instead, the reason why they look so similar is because Brandy is actually the mom. Now, I suppose I could understand why someone could interpret this as meaning Bingo is Brandy's child, but only if this clip was something someone saw and didn't see the context of the entire rest of the episode. But as you'll learn later, this isn't quite the case, since the other points for this theory uses context that only someone who analyzes the show would bring up. For example, a major supporting point that they use on why this is possible is actually Chilli's miscarriage, a theory fans speculated from the episode of the show that was confirmed by the creator of Bluey himself, because as the children put on a show imitating their parents' life to celebrate Mother's Day for Chilli,
that is not how it happened!
Oh, yes it was.
They eventually get to the part where Chilli is pregnant, where this happens.
So then
Quickly shocking the parents with Bandit quickly comforting her, since this reflects Chilli's miscarriage. The reason why they use this as a supporting point is that they claim that Brandy gave Chilli Bingo to comfort her after her miscarriage, which honestly, although I don't believe, is the only piece of evidence that makes the most sense.
Makes sense?
no.
If it didn't openly contradict how Brandy acts in Onesies, with her almost acting surprised by seeing Bingo's appearance like she's never seen her before, or how Chilli describes Brandy's infertility to Bluey.
Because it's not meant to be.
I don't really see why Chilli would say it wasn't meant to be if this was a situation Brandy had a choice over, nor do I understand why Brandy would isolate herself from Chilli after giving Bingo to her.
No, Brandy, I'm sorry. Don't go.
Funnily enough, there is a quick explanation from the creator of the theory that tries to patch this up through Bluey's big play, because it briefly mentions the sisters' argument.
Well, we don't see it very often. Why not? It's complicated, sweetheart. Sometimes sisters start arguing and just forget to stop.
Although we never get an explanation on what this argument was about, we know that they haven't seen each other since the argument.
I wasn't sure how much they'd grown in, 4 years.
And with context from onesies, it's common to say that after Chilli had her children, Brandy isolated herself due to how hard it is to see Chilli have something she unfortunately was unsuccessful having.
I'm sorry it's been so long. Oh, it's just hard seeing you all, you know?
Which could be the leading reason why they have the argument, but the creator of the Bingo is Brandy's theory says that the argument has to be because Bingo is Brandy's child. They say that the long time they haven't seen each other can't be because of something small or related to Brandy's fertility, so it has to be because of Chilli having Brandy's child, which is a bit insulting since it diminishes the complex feelings of those with infertility from this, especially when the next point they bring up is that Brandy and Bingo's personalities are similar because they are both sensitive. Once again, I feel like the personality we see Brandy express in onesies is due to her struggles with infertility, and how hard it is to see her family since she is unable to bear her own children.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I will be.
So I'd say it's fairly normal for Brandy to be acting quote-unquote sensitive in this particular situation, and I feel isn't a good correlation to Bingo, who is a young child that has moments of being sensitive due to her still learning how to express her emotions, which is typical for children her age.
Bluey, you say it.
Now frankly, there are some other points that I won't be talking about because of how I feel they openly switch-swap their beliefs on Brandy having Bingo and then using Brandy's infertility as a point for their theory, which contradicts each other heavily. So I'll only bring up one more point of theirs, but I first want to clear up why this idea gets talked about to begin with, or more specifically, why it's even being recently talked about suddenly, since it's technically a theory that is 2 years old, and it really has to do with Ragebait or content centered around triggering others in hope to gain easy views.
Right, that's it!
There's a few specific creators that pushes these type of theories out often that I won't mention or show out of respect, and hint, it's not someone I've collabed with. I love those guys. But I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, because this type of content seems to get pushed all around on social media because it really ignites the algorithm even if all the person does is click on it to leave a comment or even share the video to express their dismay about the purposely shocking contents. The only problem that arises is when these topics are taken seriously and viewers get a new skewed perspective on a show from something that isn't fully credible, which I guess is why I feel so strongly about making this video, because I don't want others to fall into believing something that stems from someone only attempting to stir others up with their theories. But let's get back on topic and discuss the final point that I purposely left towards the end, because it will allow me to redirect our thoughts to a rather cool detail about Bingo that I find wholesome, which is all about this graduation scene in Daddy Drop-Off. The theory likes to point towards the scene as a factor into why they believe Brandy is Bingo's mother, because how Bingo grown up has these fur tufts, and it looks to be pretty similar to Brandy's fur tufts on her head. Once again, I feel like this is attributed how children can look like non-immediate family members, like I mentioned earlier, but we also see Bingo now sport the same yellow belly marking as her dad, which can only mean Brandy got with Bandit and had Bingo. Joking aside, this fake love story isn't something they mention, but I definitely could see this being a theory that they would make up in an attempt to get more clicks, and maybe in the future you can message me that I called it. But the small detail that I find wholesome about this graduation scene that I don't ever hear people mention is how Bingo's appearance here reflects both her parents but also Brandy. I already talked about the hair tufts and yellow belly being Bandit and Brandy's, but besides the new white spots that we usually see on Chilli now on Bingo, we also see a subtle detail with Bingo now sporting a straight snout instead of a slanted snout, which is really cool because it mirrors Chilli's growth from a child into an adult, since in Fairy Tail we see Chilli have a slanted snout just like Bingo did in her youth, and eventually both of them develop a straight snout as an adult.
You know, Bingo, when I was your age, I was a bit stubby.
Really?
Yeah, we're healers. We're a bit stubby, but we're tough.
Which is a rather awesome detail from the creators to reflect Bingo gaining her parents' adult features all combined into one. And although she lost that slanted snout characteristic that matched her with Brandy, I find it really sweet that at the same time she gained a new part of her design that was a subtle nod towards Brandy, which makes this graduation scene even more special than it already was.
Bingo is my friend now. And I hope we're friends forever and ever and ever.
I probably spent way too long on this idea already, since thankfully it's something most fans in the fandom already believe is false, so I'm going to scrap the part that mentions all the evidence that supports Bingo is actually Bandit and Chilli's daughter, since it's not hard to connect the dots through the multiple things said in the show.
We made them.
And simply on the basis that the creator would never make their main family for a wholesome show like Bluey have such a interesting past, to say the least. I've said this before and I'll say it again, I'm a person that loves fan theories because often they are a chance to essentially broaden a viewer's perspective on an area within a show that might have not been fully explored or intentionally left up to interpretation by the creators, and when done right, this can lead to thought-provoking discussions that make us appreciate the show to a greater extent. This unfortunately just isn't one of those cases. And maybe next time I can go over a theory that I feel is truly thought-provoking, but either way, please join me next time as I analyze everything Bluey. I have a couple different video ideas I'm itching to do next, but I'm still trying to be spontaneous with my ideas since it helps my creative process, so I won't say what those ideas are, but don't forget to hit subscribe so you don't miss them or any new video that I make. At this point, I just want to showcase some amazing fan art that was sent to me by the talented artists in the community. All their handles will be on the bottom left as in tradition, with the first one being from the YouTuber Official Magical Jade. Now this one is actually 10 months old that I actually never saw until recently, which is this amazing fan art of my dog Lucy. I have a German Shepherd named Lucy, as you can see here, and this was right after she got spayed. So she was all bundled up in a nice little comfy blanket and she was just being a big baby. But it was really cute to see her redrawn in the Bluey art style, so I deeply appreciate them for doing this. It was really nice to see after 10 months. This next one is by the artist Kitten, and I really love this art piece because essentially what they're portraying here is them going to a concert with me being center stage. And I really like this because they gave an explanation that the reason why they have the headphones is because when they go to concerts they wear them to help them with sound because it's too much sensory overload for them otherwise since they have autism. I just thought that this was very sweet, and I always love seeing the art that Kitten draws, as you probably know since I showcase her art almost all the time. This next one is by Gigi, and man, they did a fantastic job with this. Now Gigi's art style is very unique, very wacky, very zany, but all in very positive ways. I just adore the way that they draw their art, and this one features me next to BB Productions, aka Haidaki. I think that's how you pronounce it, I might be pronouncing it wrong. But this dynamic pose with both of us is absolutely incredible. I love the way they colored everything, it's just very vibrant and very unique. And this final one is from Tired. Now Tired has this unique art style where the hands almost kind of blend into the body, like the arms and everything, and I really love this. I'm a big fan whenever there's an art piece that combines a couple different OCs all in one art piece, and all of us look absolutely sick. And if you'd also like to send me your fan art, please send me a message on my Twitter here. It always transforms my bad days into amazing ones, so I really appreciate those who set aside time from their schedule to make something special for me. It just means a lot. And I also want to thank the members who support me as little as $5 bucks to keep making these videos, which are Rick Iglesias, Hogsmeade, Jonathan, Tasuga, Mr. Kitty, Zach Stryker, Zachary Strawmet, Snowy, Tom of Essex, Jonathan Pate, NZ Gorham, Fluffpaws, Tyler from Texas, and Dawson Gray. And if you'd also like to support me, consider clicking the link on the top right to become a member. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I hope y'all have a great day. Bye-bye.
Ready,